Hi, I'm Jenny from Success Empowerment, and I'm very happy that we're having another amazing chat with an inspiring woman. Today, Laura Vigar, who is the founder of Watson's Hound Lounge, as well as a mom of a young family and an adventure traveler when she has time, is joining us. Thank you so much, Laura, for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
So we'll jump right in. We talked about this a little bit in terms of having some discussions with some real women and taking a bit of the attention away from maybe the historical figures or the celebrity figures that often draw a lot of attention during International Women's Day, and talking to women who are, kind of dealing with it in real time every day. And so I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Let's start with this. Now, they say that being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest jobs you can do. They say that being a mom is one of the hardest jobs that you can do. And you chose to do both at the same time. So what's with that?
Yeah, I definitely think they are both the hardest things that I have done for different reasons, but also the most rewarding thing that I have ever done. Seeing an idea that I had years ago transform into a business plan, and now it's actually a thriving business, and we're in our 6th year of operation, and something that I have literally built from the ground up. By myself has been just overwhelming. And then also starting that process when I was on bed rest with my first child, because I was bored and needed something to do. And then it actually transitioned into opening the business when my son was 7 months old. And then going through it from there has just been an incredible opportunity to show him as well, from a very young age, that if you have something that you want to do and you put your mind to it and you put the work in, you can achieve anything.
And I was going to ask you what inspired you to start Watson's Hound Lounge, but you just mentioned that you were on bed rest and you were bored. So is that, was there a little bit more to it than that?
There was, I had always thought one day I wanted to own my own business. And, as I worked for many years in corporate and big and small organizations and public and private, I thought, how incredible would it be to be able to take all of those experiences and all of that knowledge that I've gained and take the good and the bad and the challenges from each of them and be able to create my own business, my own environment, my own team, and then to be able to take that and utilize it and inspire and coach and help other people grow. And that's really what, at the end of the day, inspired me to be able to create an environment where I can have a positive impact on employees and help them grow and achieve the goals that they have. And it's been incredible to see some of the team members that I have go through university and graduate and come back, take on a lot of responsibilities here and do a lot of professional development for them personally, as well as that affects our business. And that's been really rewarding, and it's inspired me to continue and to continue to move the business forward and to grow.
What would you say was the biggest struggle that you faced over the years with Watson's?
The biggest struggles, I would say, when not every business is different and every path is different, but when you start, from my experience, when you start something from the ground up and just building the client base and getting people in the door and to use your service, to use your product, is very stressful because you put all of the work in and capital in to get the business to be able to, first of all, open the door, and then you are working as hard as you can to get people to come through that door, and you've still got the expenses in terms of paying your overhead and your staff while you're trying to get the business to the point to pay for that. So that is definitely a delicate balance and a struggle that most business people, I would imagine, go through and struggle with. And all about timing and things like that. And then just the amount of time and your time. And I think one of the things that I've really learned over the last few years, the last year and a half especially, is I really have to value my time and my team's time and my business's time and what is going to add value to us and to our clients. Because that's always going to be, there's always going to be a million things to do, and there's not ever enough time to do all of it, and balance it to have a healthy work life integration, I would say, because my day doesn't end. In terms of there's always things that you can be doing, and I really have to make sure that I'm putting as much effort towards myself as well as my family as I am in business.
And would you say that there's anything throughout your journey that really, kind of scared you, something that you had to, dig and find some courage to overcome?
Absolutely. I think letting go of some of the daily opportunity or operational things and delegating.
Mm-hmm.
I had this concept in mind when I opened the doors. It was myself and one other person, and I basically did everything on my own. And so as we grew as a company and as an organization, not only were we getting busier with day-to-day business operations, but there was still always the back end. And so I had to really overcome my own struggle with sorry, the dogs, with being able to let things go and really understanding I have to focus on the things that only I can do, and I have to build my team to be able to manage the things that they can manage and help move the business forward. So I can move the business forward in the direction with the things that only I can do, which was a big struggle. Yeah.
And we've been talking with lots of women this week, and one thing that comes up is that oftentimes we think we have to do it all, or we have to have it all, or we have to figure it all out ourselves. And what we want to share more and discuss more is that you don't have to do everything yourself, and you don't have to know everything yourself. There's no weakness in asking for help or getting coaching or getting more training or collaborating with people. And I think that sometimes we build up this idea that independence is the most important thing, where we have to change that a little bit to be like, well, accomplishing the vision is the most important thing. And in order to do that, oftentimes we need to be more open to asking and sharing and collaborating and getting help, because we can't, as you said, you can't do everything. And even if you could do everything, we don't have the time to do everything. And so it's a bit of a mindset shift, I think. Would you agree with that? It starts with your own.
I absolutely would. And I think especially over the years, as women have become more empowered and they're taking on bigger roles or roles outside of what they would traditionally do, it's kind of been a fight. So you have to kind of get there and prove that you can do it and do it on your own so that you can prove you got there. Whereas now I really feel people are seeing the benefit and the shift of, I can do it, but I can do it so much better and potentially more efficiently if I have the people behind me or with me to support me on that journey. And,
right.
And I think we're at a really exciting time in my organization right now, because we finally got to that level of, this was always a piece that I wanted to get to, but I couldn't find the right people to complement me to get us to the next step. And it's been a work in progress. And so now that we have been able to have a team that's grown to the size that we've grown to, and we've got a management team in place that we all have our own areas of expertise and that we complement each other, we can divide and conquer now. And the things that we're getting through that have been sitting on my desk for a year and a half are projects that we're finishing, and the clients are loving this new process, or this is a great idea, and we can see that it's providing us a lot of fulfillment because it's something that we wanted to do and I wanted to achieve as an organization. But then it's also empowering these other women that I've got as part of my management team now, that they can see, wow, we can really take things on and achieve them and move forward. And you can't do it all alone. And I think the other thing too is, I remember years and years ago, a director of mine saying, I need a bum in a seat, I need a bum in a seat, because we were short staffed. And I thought, yeah, but somebody here, this bum in the seat isn't going to get us what we need. You need the right bum in the right seat at the right time. And that's always kind of the mindset that I've had. And sometimes we have to put things on hold because we just can't take it on because we don't want to fail at doing it. So it's yeah.
Being more selective about priorities.
And what's adding value and who's adding value.
We've also talked a little bit about, I'm sure you've heard me say I'm extremely grateful to have lived and worked in Canada and have had all of the opportunities and choices that come with living here and being born at the time that I was born at. And, I believe that although we've done quite well, people, perhaps our grandmothers didn't have the same breadth of opportunity and choices that we did. And as generations progress, we have, the challenges for women are being mitigated because of all of our collective efforts. What what are your hopes for your daughter's future? So the next generation coming up, like what successes are you excited for her? What struggles do you hope that she won't have to go through?
Oh, that's a great question. I do feel and I see that so many more opportunities are becoming more mainstream, I guess you could say, and more available, and there's more women choosing to go into them, which is going to open up a lot more opportunities for my daughter. She's a year and a half right now, and I think about that, and I think how different things are now and what opportunities are available now education-wise as well as career-wise that weren't there when I was, even in my teens, early 20s. And so I really do think about there's probably things that are going to come up that we don't even know about yet.
Exactly.
And I guess my hope would be that as they come up and as they are new things, whether it's technology or so many different options, that the doors and the work that's been done up until now continues, so that as these new things come out, it's just an automatic that it's everybody has the opportunity to pursue these versus having to fight to become working in a high-tech job or a mining job or all of these different areas that have predominantly been men, and it's a bit more of a smooth transition.
And I think with that comes, not only the diversity in workforces on cultural or gender, but also the diversity of thought and how important it is, because we're never going to have diversity of thought until we have a diverse number of voices at the table, but also that openness to receive other perspectives and look at things different ways and be open to new ideas.
Yeah.
And I hope too that as we continue on is that we have the opportunity to collaborate more globally and continue to help other women around the world kind of break down some of the challenges that they're going through that we've already surpassed because of the growing global community and our ability to connect and collaborate a lot more easily than we ever have been able to do in the past. So is there any other advice or words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the fellow women out there or the younger generation that's coming up next?
I guess The biggest things that I have learned over the years, as well as over the last number of years that I've gotten Watson's up and running, is it's okay to ask for help. And that could be in lots of different ways. It could be something very small or something very big, but it's not afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and protect your time and do things that add value to you, and whatever it is that you're doing that's important to you.
Laura, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today and your wisdom, and happy International Women's Day.
Thanks, Jenny. Happy International Women's Day.